Hey, glad you can make it, because today we are playing more Minecraft and building things, and actually Barlock's building things. I'm just watching and talking, and what did I say I was going to rename this to? Saph paces while Barlock builds. So,
Yes.
because I pace.
Sometimes your patrons don't like that because they can't see what I'm building because you're pacing.
I'm sorry.
But you wouldn't be Saph if you didn't pace.
Yeah, at least it's not as bad as it was whenever I used to yeah, it can get a whole lot worse than what I do on this show. I promise.
I bet it can.
And then I had a viewer on the last episode that face palmed because I was, putting bone blocks on sideways. And I was like, well, at least I fixed it. I did fix it before I continued.
Yeah, you caught it before the episode was over, so that's what counts, right?
Yep, that's what counts. All right, so we are continuing work on the tavern today. That was what was asked for in the comments. So that's what we're going to do.
That's what I'm doing.
I see little dots. They're cute little dots. Whoa, now it's a line.
Only it was in the wrong spot.
Okay. Wow, I'm not doing my job. I'm not talking. I just suddenly.
Barlock builds while Saph sleeps.
Yeah.
As long as he keeps the camera forward, he's good.
Alright, let me just move right over here. Hit F1 so the UI is out of the way. Okay, I'm going back to bed now. Actually, I'm going to drink a little bit more of my drink. Yeah, yesterday I did really good about getting up in the morning, and I was all nice and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and got stuff done, got some extra recordings done, because I actually managed to put out a vlog and a video and get Terraria recorded. And then today I wake up like actually not even right before I had to be here. I woke up like a minute after I was supposed to be here. Oh.
That's all right. You're here now. That's what counts, right?
Yeah, at least it's quick to get to work. Because my bed is... The exercise ball that I sit on is touching the bed as we speak. I'll just put it to you that way. Right behind me.
So you can exercise at work.
Oh, I sit on an exercise ball. It's I have for a very long time. There was that one. Remember, whenever I kept complaining that it was hurting to sit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was because I had switched from the exercise ball to like a regular chair, and I wasn't used to regular chair. It's because the other ball had finally died on me. And I decided I was going to try sitting on a regular chair, and that was just something I shouldn't have done. So I got
Did you
another.
have a funeral?
No. No, I did not. I just bought another ball.
Aw, poor chair.
No, the funny thing is, see that my nephews, which never watch this, they can't sit on anything and it lasts. I'm sitting here, a rather large man. I had found a cheap dining room chair that I was using in as my office chair. I found, well, it wasn't really a cheap chair. It just happened to be used, and so I got it for a whole lot cheaper than I should have been able to. But it was nice and comfy. And then me, large person, sitting on it for a few months, and then I get my exercise ball, so I put that chair out there in the living room area, and within 2 days they broke it.
That's because they tip back on it. I've watched youth.
For
some reason, chairs cannot have all four legs on the ground at the same time. It's against their rules.
This wasn't even, it wasn't the legs, it was the seat. The seat? Yeah. It went right through the frame.
Okay, I don't know what they're doing with your chairs, but it ain't sitting on them.
No, they plop. No matter what I tell them, I keep telling them stop plopping on things, they plop. So, there's actually a good chance we're going to finally be able to move to a new place. And so I was doing a little bit of a shopping job to try and find something to replace their current beds because, well, those are dead too. They killed the frames within a month, and the mattresses themselves are spring based, so of course they're basically flat at this point. All because they like to plop.
If I broke something like that, my parents would make me go out and mow lawns to get the money to replace it.
Yeah. Well, what I found is I found, I don't know if you ever saw them, but those like cushions that you could fold, like
futons.
Yeah, that's the same thing that somebody else told me. I didn't realize that they were called futons at one point, but yeah, like the ones where there would be like a couch and then you could fold the cushion out. It was just a cushion. It wasn't like a frame or anything. It was just the cushion could be a couch, and then it would become, flat surface. Well, I found one of those that is memory foam, so kind of nice, and it also has a 3-year warranty. And whole lot cheaper than buying a mattress and frame. So they get to sleep on the floor when we get to the new place. I had already threatened them that I was going to get them kindergarten mats. So this is almost like giving them kindergarten mats, except, actually more comfortable. So that's what they're getting whenever we move. But yeah, 4-bedroom, 2-bath.
Nice.
Finally.
In a neighborhood you like?
Well, it's the place we're moving to is small, so it doesn't have neighborhoods. It is the neighborhood. Population 2,000 people in the entire county.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in the entire city. Sorry, not county. It's a very rural place, so therefore it's just basically a small town. Like a suburb of a large city would be bigger than this city.
So what you're saying, it's Firth?
Yeah. Everything's within walking distance. Everything almost everything is within walking distance. There are a few, like, businesses on the outskirts that are not really, like, in the city limits. But, otherwise, yeah. But the city is within range of Cincinnati Bell's fiber. So that internet that I was all happy that I was going to get the first time I was going to move, I still get to get, which is going to make me happy.
Oh, that's good then. Yay.
Yeah, that will be, it's, like, the current connection that I'm using as we speak is a 25/5 connection. The one that I will be able to get there is a 1000/100 connection.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's even better than what I had down in Florida, that business class.
Well, it'll cost me like $100 a month, but that's fine because at the moment I'm paying $200 a month for 2 different internet connections.
Oh, that's terrible.
Because I pay about $100 for the family one because and it's only a 10.1 connection, but the reason why I have it is because AT&T has unlimited data, and it's the one that, the other 5 people in the house use to watch YouTube and Netflix and all that kind of stuff. So, without the unlimited data, I'd be paying a lot more. And the business connection, and yes, it's a business connection, and they still have a data cap of only 450 gigs, which is ridiculous.
Agreed.
That one's costing me $100 a month. So when we move, I can pay $100 a month for a 1000/100 connection that I won't need. It's also unlimited data, so I won't need more than one.
Excellent.
One connection will be fine. So even though the place will cost us more in rent per month, we're saving enough money in things like internet and automobile gasoline to easily pay the difference.
And that's good because gasoline is going back up like a house afire.
Yeah, because of the hurricanes.
No, it went up before that. It went up because they said there were hurricanes. I think that should be illegal. Their tanks were still full of fuel that they paid cheaper for.
Right. Well, one of the really good things is that, and the main reason why we're moving. I mean, yes, the internet is nice for me, for this, for my job. The larger house is just going to be more or better for sanity. But the main reason we're moving is my wife will no longer have an 1.5-hour drive on a snake road that basically, if you go off the road, it has like all these curves, tons and tons and tons of curves. It's small, and then there's quite a few sections where if you go off the road by even an inch, you're going down the hill.
Ooh, I hate that. That sounds like Colorado.
And it's the only way to get there, unless she would have to go like 30 to 40 miles out of her way to stay on bigger roads.
Wow.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, it takes the exact same amount of time to get there. It's just, a lot more gas. Because of small roads, you're going 20, 30 miles an hour. So, but instead of an hour and 30 minutes, it'll be 5. Which will also be useful because there's quite often that I don't do things because I don't have the car, because we only have one car. And if she's only 5 minutes away, I can keep the car. Go run errands.
And go pick her up?
Yep. Now, see, out here in the town that we currently live, they actually have like cabs and buses and stuff, so I could still go do things. It just normally the buses didn't really go. Or there's only one bus because it's a small town. It's one bus that constantly makes rounds, and it doesn't really go everywhere I need to go. So I was like, that doesn't work. And then the cab is like, even though it's a really small town, the cab is like $7 a pop, and I'm like, $14 every day to go somewhere.
That's expensive, dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's expensive for small town income. There are some people, though, that take those cabs every day before and after work, and I'm like, okay, well,
Oh, we know they're making more than $14 an hour then. Otherwise, they're only working 6 hours worth of work for money because the other 2 hours are to pay for the cab back and forth.
No, these are people that work at things like the Family Dollar.
Oh, dear.
They're just willing to spend the money, and I'm like, okay. Now, I say that people who are listening, if they're in bigger towns, they're going to scoff at the $14 and say, well, that's cheap. Because bigger places, the cabs are like $20, $30 for a ride just a few blocks away, kind of thing. Heck, even, like Lyft and Uber are not exactly cheap.
No, some of these things that are priced out of heck, I wish they'd bring back the law. There used to be a law in America that you could not mark up an item more than 40%. It was a law. And I don't know where that thing was, because now the law is if you're not doubling your money, you're not a good businessman.
Right.
Or woman.
There's a mod somewhere. I've used it before recently, and I can't remember what it was. But it gives you the ability to see from somebody else's point of view.
Oh, that would be an interesting mod.
Anybody watching this, because like Preacher's really good at remembering these things. I need to ask him maybe, because if I could find that mod, that would be a great addition to this, because then I could literally just see from your point of view while you're building sometimes.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or you could put it in a side cam so you could see what you're viewing and what I'm viewing at the same time.
Well, that depends on how it works, because I can't run two things at the same time and record. So if it takes up the whole screen, then I'm just kind of stuck.
Oh, okay, because I've seen other people that do, videos, and they can have another screen down in the corner showing something else.
Right, that normally requires extra hardware. Like they have another computer running Minecraft that's also doing the recording.
Okay. See, I don't know nothing about this stuff. That's why I make you do it.
I mean, some of the ways they do it, they'll use like some of the cam mods that allow them to. They do their thing, but then whenever they record with their recording software, they're actually recording any path they choose that happens around the action. So it's like they record the action first. By use of the mod. And then they can set the camera up around that action. And so that way, that's how, like, Grian.
He calls himself Grian.
Okay, that's how Grian does it. Because, the camera will look at him from a distance and kind of revolve around the project.
Yeah, and then he pauses himself, and then he can change the camera angle. Yeah, it's kind of neat that way.
Yeah, all of that is done in advance. So all that talking that he's doing is done after the fact. He does the commentary after he does the recording of the action.
See, I didn't know that. See, you know more than I do about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I played around with those kind of I wanted to mess with those kind of mods and stuff. I never found a real reason for doing it. But I have considered second cam work before, so like my wife's account is normally whitelisted to the servers too, just in case I decide to get on there and record. But again, that would require another computer to record on. So, which is why those mods are cool, because then it's like having a second computer without needing it. But for picture-in-picture, you would have to have two simultaneous recordings to get a picture-in-picture. But the mod that I'm talking about that allows you to see from other people's view, they may have a way of doing that as a picture-in-picture, which would be kind of cool. If they do...
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, if they do, then I could stick that, wherever it allows me to stick that, and then I can do all the pacing I want. People can look in that corner and always see what you're doing.
Yep.
So we need to see if that exists. Because
that's the main reason I watch my own videos, is because I know what I saw, but I want to know what you saw.
Right. But see, like Witchery. Remember the Witchery mod?
Mm-hmm.
You could use the what was it? The crystal ball, I think it was, to see what somebody else is doing. The crystal ball plus their little tag lock. I mean, you could do that with like a pig. You could sit there and tag lock a pig, attach it to the crystal ball. I may be remembering the procedure kind of wrong, but I remember doing it. And then you could, see from the pig's point of view.
That's cool.
So you could use those tag locks as like security cameras.
Watch out, that chicken's watching you.
Exactly. I mean, it could have been. Or the witch could have been watching through him. So, yeah. Or her. So, yeah. So, I know if Witchery can do it, there's got to be mods that can do it in 1.10. Just got to find it and see how it works. And if it works, fine. Especially if it has a picture-in-picture option. That would be awesome.
Yep.
I can add it to this pack. And I can finish making the Barlock build pack. Instead of the Lipstick Mafia pack. Hey, I still like that name, but not for this.
Oh, yeah, it's a great name, but it's kind of confusing if people go, well, what mod is Barlock building on?
Yeah, he's building on the Lipstick Mafia mod pack. Wait, what? Huh? Why? It's a long story. It's because this server started on... actually, this build started on the Nature's Story server.
Yep.
Using the Nature's Story mod pack. And then patrons wanted to switch away from Nature's Story, but we still needed to make the show. So since I had put up a small server for my daughter and her friends, we decided to go ahead and borrow a chunk of that. And we placed this village there. And this was made with the ATG terrain generation, while the rest of the server does not. So if I went to elsewhere on this server, it would be regular vanilla generation. And you can tell that at the edges of this area. And then, so we started using that pack, and it was called Lipstick Mafia because they wanted a pack that was simple to learn mods with. And so I only had like 22 mods on it at the beginning. Some basic stuff like Tinker's Construct, Ender IO, just things for them to learn how to use mods because they were new to it. So that's what this pack is about, and it even says that in the description of the pack on Curse. But they no longer play here because they got bored with these mods and wanted something else. And then I was like, okay, fine. So I set up a regrow server for them. And they're like, oh, this one's too grindy. It's like, okay. I said, well, then I'm done. And it wasn't my daughter, it was her friends that were complaining. So I was like, I'm done. Y'all can go get your own server. Because I was spending too much time server adminning for them, basically.
Yeah, and you got other jobs to do, not only your own, but other people's.
Yep. So now we are still using the Lipstick Mafia pack because I haven't done everything I'm supposed to.
Yeah, and the poor grand designs didn't work, darn it.
Well, I mean, like I said, I can give you a copy of this map, and you can load it up locally with Grand Designs and see if you're willing to do. Like, you can look at it more closely yourself instead of me just showing you screenshots. So you can go, would I want to even try to fix this?
Yep, that's the only way I'm gonna know.
But
because what you think is too much work might just be an hour's worth of work for me.
Right. But then there's the other issue that it's harder for us to add something like if we found that picture-in-picture mod.
Oh yeah.
See, so I think I'm just going to look at what I like about Grand Designs and maybe copy a little bit of it into the building with Barlock. But we have a couple of, like, we have Tinker's Construct in here, and that one does not, and it provides some decent, building blocks. So,
well, it's all up to you, boss. I can build anywhere.
Yep, I know. You're awesome like that. And somebody's getting very fancy with chisels and bits too. I saw those pictures of the front of that boat.
You should see the ship I'm building on there now.
I really need to go see about getting on the Coop Life server, for Vagram's Coop Life server, huh? Isn't that where
Either
it's at?
that or just one of these times, put off some of your projects, and then when you start a new pack, start with us so you're not behind. That would be nice too. Then we could see you while you're there.
Well, I'm still going to do Simple Life too. It's just trying to fit it into the regular week, and then I decided I needed to do weekends, but there's just been stuff that keeps me from doing it on the weekends. But one way or another, I'm going to get weekend recordings done.
Yeah, but we don't play on Simple Light. We finished it.
Yeah, and that's just the way it's going to work. I only do one episode of most things per week.
Yeah, I know. It's sad. It's like, I remember when we were on Purples, and man, we all played together. That was cool.
Yeah. I actually redid a village with a little bit of your help.
Ooh, really? What'd you do?
No, on Purples, remember?
Oh, okay. I
Cause
thought you redid another village.
cause you made the dojo for Glitch Monkey,
Yep.
and then I redid a lot of the other buildings.
Cool.
And I had that blood magic house that didn't look like it was. It was a because then the farthest you could go was tier 5 on the blood altar, and the whole thing was in the house. It was like a small house above ground. The largest part of the altar was below the house, but it looked like just a house, a black and red and white house. But it was a full tier 5 blood altar.
Cool.
I did a lot of stuff whenever I was just playing the game.
Yep. I like that one house you showed me. I think it's on this server, isn't it? The one you built after
Yes.
you... Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually still here somewhere. Let's see. Do I have the waypoints? Yes, I do.
You should show the folks that house real quick while I'm just doing the tops of these windows, because that's a nice house.
Okay, I'll do that. Well, I'll go ahead and do that now. That will be basically the end of the episode because we're at that time.
Oh, okay. They'll have to see more later then.
Yep. So let's see. Teleport to the house. Before I show you all this, see, that is regular vanilla generation out there. But this is the house that I made on this server.
It's really nice, isn't it, folks?
That's the house I was making because I was playing with the kids for a little bit to try and help them learn some of the mods. So, very simple design. But yeah, I had fun with that. Making it fit the top of the mountain was fun too.
I thought it was a very nice house.
Alright, back to the town. My waypoint is on top of the windmill now. I think it used to be I used to be up in the air whenever I made that waypoint.
Or on the ground and it just pushes you up there.
Possibly. All right.
All right.
So
well,
this...
all that's left to really do is finish those windows and put a roof on it. So it's up to the folks if they want to see that or if they want to see the next build.
All right. So y'all heard it here. Let us know in the comments if you want to see the rest of the build. Or if you just want to see it done. And let's move on to the next thing. So, we will listen to the majority of the comments. And so far, the majority has been saying they want to see everything. So, if that's the way y'all continue, that's the way we'll continue.
Yep. We're here to please you.
Well, maybe you are. No, just kidding.
Oh, fine. Saph doesn't like you guys go away. I'll still be here.
So thanks in advance for the thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. Whoa. I lost my train of thought in my own outro. That's just bad. All right. Thanks in advance for the thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. I've been Saph.
I've been Barlock. And you've been shaded.